And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast. How cool is that? And we are being live streamed wherever podcasts live. So we're not hard to find, including my YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps, fellow experiencers, and brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I am a fully professed brother and abbot for the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary, co-founder of GhostBeGone.biz, and yeah, I'm that guy on Eli Roth Presents The Legion of Exorcists on Travel Channel and HBO Max, currently streaming everywhere if you haven't caught it yet. And if there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And if you go there to visit, there's all kinds of cool things to see. All my books are there. If you go there, buy a book. Nobody's reading anymore. Buy a book. If you buy my book on Amazon or any of my books on Amazon, they're less expensive. If you get them off the website, they leave my office here. I autograph them and they arrive to you in a beautiful house blessing kit. And you never know when one of those is going to come in handy. And a beautiful thing about getting them off the website is part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support St. Jude and the ASPCA. So how cool is that? You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. My online course is there, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. You can enroll right there, or you can reach out to me and talk to me about the course before making that type of commitment if you want to know a little bit more about it and make sure the course is right for you. And there's a place on the website where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. But most importantly, if you go there to visit, brothers and sisters, is my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Alrighty, guys, this is a great show today. First time meeting my guest today, his first time on the show. Seems to be such an interesting gentleman. So I'm very excited. And before I bring him on, I've got to bring out my awesome co host. She's a lifelong paranormal experiencer. Super cool lady. I love her. I respect her. It feels like I've known her forever. She's the owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. Please give a big, warm paranormal ministry family welcome to Annette Munich.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for the very kind introduction. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here. Um,
I'm glad you're here.
Somebody told me to make a joke and say, hey, my co-host is back, but that may or may not be funny.
I would have thought it was very funny. It seemed like that today because I know you have some very interesting things you want to talk to today's guest about. So once we bring him out, I'm going to let you have first crack at him because once I get a crack at him, you may not get him back.
Right.
So that's the story. But you look very pretty today.
Thank you.
You and I and lots of close friends of ours and family members have had such a rough last couple 2.5 months with health matters and personal matters, and it just seems to be going around. So it is what it is.
And that's why our guest today is so wonderful, because he's experienced in speaking on wellness and ancient wisdom. And I think that it's just wonderful to have him on in January and, kind of get a new mindset, navigate things a little bit better. I think that's wonderful. So I'm very excited about him.
Very, very cool. If you don't have any particular announcements to make, I know you have a couple of new collaborations out with some authors.
I do. We have a new collaborative book That does not mean that I helped write it. I helped format it and get it ready to be published and help with the cover and whatnot. And it's called Viral by James Baxter.
Cool.
Medical thriller. It's very nicely written. It's been selling really well. So I think that, and I'm hoping that people are starting to read more. I think that that's good and healthy and get away from all of the time staring at your screen. And I think that we're about to have a renaissance. So, and our guest today is a renaissance person. He
Yeah.
knows much about many different topics, and that's beautiful. So, with all of that being said,
Well, if you're ready, I'm ready to bring them out.
I am ready.
Some of you may not have met him before. Many of you may have already seen him on. He's on a lot of shows. He's a lot of big events all the time speaking. I don't know what to say about the guy other than his resume is all over the place. He could speak on so many things. I'll probably pick his brain on a prediction. I'll
He could,
probably pick his brain on some ufology stuff, but Annette's got some great questions for him. But he's all you can bring him on any show to talk about just about anything.
right. We could have him for a guest till about April, May, something like that.
He's the
Just to
kind of guy you
talk.
can have a series over. So
Right,
I'm ready to
exactly.
bring him out. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Brothers and sisters, please give a big, warm paranormal ministry family welcome to Mr. Samuel Chong.
Samuel, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks
So
for
happy
having
to
me.
have you.
Well, Samuel, you're named after one of my favorite um, people from the Bible. So I
Yes.
love the name Samuel. If I ever have a child, which I doubt I will, I'm 66 and have no children, but I would probably name him Samuel. So before I let Annette have first crack at you, your resume is very impressive. You're all over the place. How did you introduce yourself to everybody, give them a little bit of your background on how you got into under the supernatural paranormal ufology umbrella. How did that happen for you?
So I'm a lawyer in California. I was born in Beijing, China. Went to high school in Los Angeles, UC Berkeley. Learned studied economics. Uh, London School of Economics. Studied economic history, and also went to a university in Spain and learned financial analysis. So I also speak some Spanish. I also translated a book from German into English about the autobiography of the former chair of a secret society that was founded in Germany. That's a very interesting book too.
Wow.
So I professionally I used to be a certified court interpreter, and I'm still doing a lot of translation interpreting works. And now I'm very interested in promoting peace in the world and also empowering the people with the right knowledge so that they can make the right choices in the future.
That's wonderful. That's
And
wonderful.
that's what the world needs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
really is.
Well, Samuel, I promised, like I said, once I get a hold of you, I may not give you back to Annette. So I'm going to let Annette have first crack at you.
Well, what I was going to start off with, if you don't mind, I feel like, well, it's more than an opinion. You can see it. The health and wellness industry, that is just an enormous industry with all kinds of different things that they throw at people all the time, ever changing. Do this, don't do that, buy this, don't buy that. I had eggs and toast for breakfast, and I looked at all the stuff written on my eggs. And it was crazy because I'm older. When I was a kid, it just said 1 dozen farm fresh eggs. That's all it said. Now it's non GMO, and it let me know that the chickens were housed and they weren't running wild. And I'm like, wow. Um, I remember being a kid, we drank water out of a garden hose in the yard. We ate popsicles. Now everything is kind of like something to be anxiety stricken about. Drinking water and eating a leaf of lettuce, does it have pesticides? How much plastic am I consuming? So, having said all of that, how do we get back to just basic and sort through all of the stuff and realize that, this is an ever changing genre of too much information and confusion, and get on a good path, for taking care of ourselves and our bodies?
Well, there are a lot of different ways to really respond to the current situation. One is to be intuitive and to filter out the information that may have a lot of commercial interests. For example, if you really learn about the Chinese traditional medicine, you're going to realize that they are not aiming at the physical body, they're aiming at the astral body or the human energy fields. Because in the past, the Chinese doctors could see the colors and the blockages of the human energy fields. And they
Wow.
could just put the acupuncture in the right location where the blockages were. And then the patient will be healed. But later on, they lost the ability to see the blockages in the human energy fields. So they developed the acupuncture meridian system to put the needles into the different acupressure points based on the symptoms. And then if you know that the food, or especially organic fruits and vegetables that you eat, they actually contain the energy fields of the plants. So that means if you eat organic food that's grown in your garden, you're going to absorb more the energies of the plants and the fruits and the vegetables. That's going to make you healthier than the synthetic or processed foods. If you take drugs, the medicinal drugs, you have to know the right knowledge through pharmacology, because all the drugs, oral medications, they have to go through the liver through a process of degrading or digesting or kind of separating because the liver will see any kind of pills or drugs as foreign, as toxics. So they have to really detoxify any kind of traditional or maybe Western drugs that you take, conventional drugs that you take. So that's going to damage your liver. This is verified by scientists or medical doctors who know about pharmacology. So the best way is to use natural medicine to really improve your energy fields rather than take synthetic Western or conventional drugs that will more or less damage your liver. So if you have the knowledge, you're going to know every symptom or every disease that you have will contain a way to reverse the conditions or the symptoms. There are ways to do that. And it requires you to have the knowledge to do it.
I love that answer. And I'm somebody that I like to try the natural healing methods, teas, herbs, things like that, different kinds of suggestions for helping your body heal itself.
Yes. And
Because
also the human the human immune system is very powerful. You can actually meditate, and then you can activate your immune system. A lot of chronic diseases can be healed that way. I actually went to India last year or the year before, and one person told me that a doctor in the US told him that he had stage 4 cancer, and there's no cure for that, no way that he could have recovered. But he just meditated every day for 2 hours. After a few months, he fully recovered. So this is just one example how meditation can help to activate your immune system. And this is actually a lot of the ways that you can recover yourself do not need you to spend a lot of money. It's just that the commercial interests, they do not necessarily want you to know this, and because they have to take care of their shareholders. and so that's the
Yeah.
how things are.
Right.
Uh,
I have to tell you this. You said something to me that brought back such a wonderful memory for me, and I have to share it real quick, and I'll let it back at you. I'm going back probably 30 years. So I was at at the peak of I was an animal at the time. I was in the weight room all the time, doing weights on the bench press, twice my weight, with reps and just got done playing about 13 years of football. So I was I was doing great, but I injured my back really bad. And I'm telling you, I couldn't get out of bed without help. I had to crawl around. I couldn't stand up straight. Went to a couple of doctors. You're right. They gave me nothing but pain meds, said it'll eventually pass, sent me to a chiropractor who made it worse. So here, a friend of mine, he recommended me to go to this acupuncturist. And I'd never been there before, didn't know who this gentleman was. I went there and I had to actually get help out of the car and I had to crawl up to his office. And the door opens up and it's this elderly Chinese gentleman, had the greatest smile. I never forget his smile. He didn't speak a word of English. He had an interpreter there who would tell me what he was saying. They both helped me into his office, laid me up on this table. I don't know what happened to me. All I know is I walked out of there. One visit, I walked out of there and I felt like a new man and never had any. I have issues with my back now. I'm 66, but I never had any issues with my back ever again for many, many years after that. And I just thought I would share that because I'll always remember that experience.
yes, indeed. The We have to realize that we not only have our physical body, we also have the energy body or the astral body that some people like Barbara Brennan can see and Judith Collins in Australia can see. They can just see the energy blockages and they can just pinpoint exactly where you can put the needles in and then to make the energy flow so the pain that you have will disappear. So there are people like that, and it's just that people need to be aware of such knowledge and to use such knowledge. Yeah.
I think that that's awesome. And I'm hearing about more and more people getting acupuncture and different treatments and therapies like that. But in the past, that was something that wouldn't be covered for medical insurance purposes or whatever. So, but everything that seemed outside of traditional Western medicine, you had to pay for it yourself.
Yes. Additional note is that California just classified or categorized massage therapy as part of healthcare providers. So massage, if you have a very good massage therapist, they can actually use their intention while doing the massage to really harmonize or to improve your energy body through the massage techniques that they know how to use. So massage is another way to really heal the different symptoms or diseases. I would suggest you to give that a try as well if you don't have an acupuncturist around you.
Annette, you've had we all have had our fair share of issues. I mean, the last couple of months, uh, Annette and I have both had our fair share of health issues and close friends and family members. Um, what would you say? I always hear this term, and you used it a little earlier, the detox. Without getting too over the top complicated, what would you honestly say would be just a very basic but thorough and proven way for someone to just detox?
Well, there are actually two things you need to do in order to do that. One is that to stop eating any processed foods because all the processed foods are seen to the liver as foreign foods, as foods that need to be detoxed. So that's one thing you need to do. And the second is that drink a lot of I would say fluid that comes from nature. For example, you can drink watermelon juice or celery juice or just apple juice, freshly squeezed apple juice, or just eat an apple a day and doctors will go away. So just apples are really good for your liver to detox. So I would suggest you to eat organic apples. The best ones would be the ones that grow in your garden, but then the second best ones are the organic apples that you can buy in marketplace. So I would suggest you to try that.
So you really believe there's something to that old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Really? You know what? That is so interesting because I love apples. I can't remember the last time I had an apple. Sharon and I, my wife and I, take. I don't know if you've seen the commercials for a product, and I'm giving them a free plug here, called Balance of Nature, and they come in capsules, and it's both fruit and vegetables, and we've been taking that because it's just so easy. And my wife is a three-time cancer survivor, so she can't really. There's a lot of stuff, mouth cancer. She can't eat certain things, but I'm going to start when we go back to the market. I'm going to see if there's organic apples there, and grab a big bag of them because that's very interesting. What do you think about? I know I drink a lot of. I don't drink alcohol. I drink a lot of blueberry green tea.
Well, I would suggest you to wild blueberries are really good. Green tea, it really depends on the person. For your wife, I would suggest potato juice. Like you use a juicer to get some potato juice and mix with apple juice, because according to one of my clients who use my interpretation services, and he actually had recovered from hepatitis B just by drinking apple and potato juice. So that helps because potato
Are you
contains
saying potato or tomato?
potato juice.
Potato juice. I've never
Yes,
heard of that.
because
Interesting.
potato contains lysine. Lysine is a very good nutrient to really combat cancer cells. So
Very,
so
very interesting.
Wow. I have never heard that before. I've never heard of potato juice before,
yeah.
but almost always have potatoes. And I'm kind of fortunate because I'm just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we grow a lot of our food here. And we have a little greenhouse, and we try to take advantage of growing our own whenever possible. We had some fruit trees, but the dogs dug them up. That's another sad story. But anyway, when you do have a little land and you can do something, it's so much better because the way that I've sorted everything out is just that, if you can grow it yourself, it's best. Cooking it yourself is best. Like the worst is the processed, pre prepared, um, preservative infused food that is handy and convenient.
Yeah.
Other than that, we go through spells of don't eat meat, eating only meat, like all of these different things, which I just, think it's just a big marketplace where they're selling ideas and trendy things and get shots in your stomach and all kinds of stuff. But like the real building blocks of wellness would be cooking as fresh as possible. And I think also like mentally believing that it's your body's job to heal. Your body is healing. Let your body heal. Be positive. Um, the mindset, like he was saying about the different bodies, your mental and emotional state has a lot to do with it. I don't know if you agree with this, but um, there have been people that say different emotions can turn into different ailments in your body, and that cancer is made out of resentment and different things like that. And if you are, forgiving, or if you have problems with your arms that you're not asking for help, you don't move forward in life, your legs hurt, different things that are correlated. Would you say that that's true?
Yes, it's definitely true. It's absolutely true because your mindset influences your chakras, and the chakras influence your auras, the human energy fields, and the human energy fields influence your physical body. So it goes like this. So the mindset is the most important thing that you should pay attention of. To have a positive mindset is going to influence your human energy fields positively. So does your physical body as well. So it goes it's different layers. So but the most important thing is to be compassionate and to love one another so that you have a positive mindset. And actually, the truth is that I would say just follow the Ten Commandments and follow the teachings of Christ, and that's the right way of living a wonderful life.
And what would you say is the effect of all the fear and confusion that people live with right now? Because, and I think a lot of that's on purpose. I think that there's all of this, sensationalism and getting clicks and getting people all stirred up and reactive all of the time that um, compared to the way things were years ago, it's such a dramatically different, um, confusing way to live because there's always something new, something different. Um, I think that that does something to our nervous system. And two, I also worry that people are becoming passive brained, that they spend too much time being entertained and looking at screens and not spending enough time thinking for themselves or in nature or in artistic or athletic pursuit.
Yes, I agree. With the advent of technology and AI, a lot of people are drawn into this temporary excitement on the screen. When in fact they should look inside and also meditate or pray to really find out what we really want, what they really want, what they really need, and I think it goes back to the power of knowledge. If people have the knowledge, then they can make the right choices and to decide what kind of lifestyle they want to live in. And I think uh, I'm trying my best, and we're trying our best to empower people with the knowledge so that they can make the right choices. And I really want to emphasize that well, there's a far higher meaning for our life on earth. And it's not just about the accumulation of wealth or money or materialistic life. It's more about experiencing the different uh, challenges that we all have to face in our lifetime. And how to respond to such challenges is a key of our spiritual learning. And I think the best way to go about that is to look inside for answers when you have such challenges. For the kingdom of God is within you. And I think we should not follow a media guru or a politician, or for that matter, media. We should really look inside, use our intuition, and pray and meditate, and to find out what will be the best way to overcome the challenges.
And how do you feel about Tai Chi as a practice?
Well, Tai Chi is another way of harmonizing the energy field. It's a very good way to practice and to really holistically make your health better.
Nice.
Do you like Tai Chi better than yoga?
Well, I think both are good. My wife likes Tai Chi and I like yoga, so both are good.
I'm going to hit you with something that I don't really think there may be a simple answer to it, maybe not. Um, in my lifetime, I mean, we've always had violence and ugliness and perversion around us all our lives. But in my humble opinion, recently, I've seen the type of hatred and violence in the world like I can never really remember it being this way any other time to this degree. I don't like drama. I won't do it. I don't hate anybody. I don't judge anybody. And I just avoid drama and I try to lead by example in terms of, I try and spread the love. I'm all about the peace. And I don't care what religion you may have in your household or not, even if you're an atheist. We're all human beings. And I love what you said about the Ten Commandments and just being more Christ like. It's that old saying, what would Jesus do? I ask myself that all the time, every day. Um, Here we are. Give us a prediction, in your humble opinion, um, and it can be on anything for 2026. But how can each individual person start contributing in their own way to help push this darkness, push this evil back?
I think there are certain things that are destined to happen. I constantly use this analogy as to what we do in a life, in a human life. It's just like taking exam. The questions on the exam sheet are already pre-made, and the way how we respond to the questions, how we answer the questions, depend on our free will. So it's a combination of the two that results in what we are and who we are and what our lives are like and the future of Earth. Or humanity. So the future is not determined. It's not fixed actually. It's actually determined by our collective consciousness, our collective actions. And there are a lot of research studies on the possibility of reincarnation. I know you, being a Catholic priest, you probably don't necessarily agree on this, but there are a lot of scientific studies on this. That there's a possibility that people reincarnate until they reach to a level that they go to heaven or a paradise. For example, a medical doctor called Ian Stevenson, he studied about 1,000 or so children, or actually more than 1,000 children, who claim to remember their past lives. And also through his studies published in peer-reviewed journals, he can explain what birthmarks are. The birthmarks are actually caused by the traumatic events that occurred in the children's past lives. So according to his study. So there are a lot of kind of research on near-death experiences, people who claim that they remember the period of time in which they're pronounced by medical doctors that they're dead, clinically dead, but they remember what happened in between. So there's a life review process in which everything that happened since they were born until the moment of death are shown to them as a holographic film. So they're not only able to feel and experience how they felt when certain events happened, but also how others felt. So for example, if they hit a person, then the pain and suffering of that person will be felt by them. So this is like an enablement holographic experience, replay of their life. So they're able to know what kind of things they did correctly or incorrectly in their past lives or the previous life. So they're going to know what kind of spiritual lessons they need to learn when they have the opportunity to go on to the next life. So this is the studies done by a lot of researchers who study people who have had near-death experiences. So in a sense, karma or karmic effects are real according to such researchers. And actually karma is firmly believed by people in India and to a certain extent people in Asia, like in China or Japan or Taiwan. So in a sense, we have to learn until we perfect ourselves to the what we would call like the final perfection, just like Christ. So it goes through different processes until we purify our souls to be like Christ, until we finally reach heaven or perfection. So it goes through a lot of different processes. It's not just like someone who dies and then goes straight to heaven after believing in Christ. It has to go through the different processes. So this is what I found out through the different researches I've read and discovered and also analyzed and studied. So in terms of what's going to happen in the future, it really depends on how we respond to the challenges collectively. I cannot say what's exactly going to happen in the future, because it really depends on our actions.
Absolutely. Well said. I'm on. I'll tell you, I have a lot of colleagues in my field that get on me a little bit about the whole reincarnation thing because I'm on the fence with it. I've always said, things have happened to me that I can tell you I felt like I've lived past lives, and I think everything's possible with God. If you like, I have a friend. I won't say her name because I don't want to embarrass her, but she's died 5 times. Saw heaven, saw Jesus, saw angels, wanted to stay there, was told it's not your time, and they send her back, and she would even get upset and say, I don't want to go back because it's just so beautiful there. But she was sent back. Um, you, me, and Annette will be having this conversation in heaven one day, and I think we'll have a good laugh over the things that we'll know then that we don't know now. But I think it's all possible with God. I think if you go to heaven and God tells you, He wants to, for lack of a better description, recycle your soul for whatever reason and feels you need to come back down here for some reason and live again, because there's a purpose for that, then you're not going to argue with God and tell him no. It's just going to be done. His will. Oh, we lost him. We lost Samuel. But I'll finish my thought. I think that, his device. Samuel, if you can see me, it says your device is not connected. Try and reconnect it. Annette, are you still with me?
I am.
Oh, there you go. You look like you had froze up. Let's see if he pops back on here. Samuel, it says your device is not connected. So try again, but I'll finish my thought real quick. Um, I believe God's capable of making anything happen, and if that's what happens to you when you get up there, then that's what happens to you. So let me click on his thing here and see if for some reason if it pops him back on. No, it's not popping him back on. I'm sorry, Samuel. If you can see me and hear me, it says your device is not connected. But Annette and I will stay on here and see if you pop back on. I was just getting ready to drag him under the ufology umbrella
Well,
and discuss some alien stuff with him.
hopefully he's able to make his way back, because that would be wonderful to hear what he
Well,
has to
I
say.
well I already know that I'm going to ask him back. Like I said, he's one of those gentlemen that you can do. Um,
Hey,
there he is. Great. Howdy.
he's back.
I'm
Thank
back, yes.
goodness.
So what I was saying with I don't know how much of my answer you caught. I believe I get a lot of colleagues push back on
Yes.
me about the reincarnation thing because I'm on the fence with it. I believe all things are possible with God. I have a friend who died 5 times. Every time
Hmm.
she saw heaven, saw Jesus, saw angels. It was so beautiful there. She didn't want to come back, but she was told it's not your time, and they send her back.
Yeah.
Um, so the three of us are going to be having this conversation one day in heaven, and we're going to have a big laugh over all the things we'll know then that we don't know now. But I believe all things are possible with God, and if you get up there and He decides for whatever reason to recycle your soul and send you back, you know, to do this again we can't understand how God thinks, and
That's
I don't
right.
presume to ever
And
try and we just couldn't ever know how God thinks. But
and
if that's what happens, that's what happens.
Right,
it
right.
might be kind of a choice. It might be like the earth plane is school, and if you want to be in a higher level of heaven, then you have a choice to come back and try and learn something the quicker way, the you know earth school way, because we have a lot of, and especially I hear stories about kids, really young kids, and they have like enormous information talent things that they couldn't know, shouldn't know, and yet there they are. And all the NDEs, which is sort of a different kind of thing, but absolutely. Maybe
Yes,
you have a choice.
yes.
Maybe, it's up to you.
So this is why I encourage people to read the book Theory of Prophecy, because that book explains the entire cycle that one needs to go through in order to purify and to reach perfection. It actually also explains a lot of the mysteries when I was reading the Bible. For example, if you read the Old Testament, the Bible, you're going to wonder, like, why the Hebrews were the chosen people. Like why they lived 800 years old or 900 years old, much longer than what we can live nowadays. Like why there are so many things or events that happened in the past. And that book, Theory of Prophecy, explains everything in a very reasonable and logical manner. For example, like if you look at nowadays, the Jewish people, they only account for about 0.2% of world population, but 22% of the Nobel Prize winners are Jewish. Like they enter into different fields and they're exceptionally good. Like in my industry, the legal service industry, a lot of the best lawyers are Jewish, and a lot of the excellent businessmen or financiers are Jewish too. Like why that's the case? And also, if you read statistics, the Ashkenazi Jews they live 5 years longer on average than the Americans, like the rest of the people. Like why is that? Like the book The Yuba Prophecy explains the reason very logically and reasonably, and I think it deserves a lot of attention to realize that the world is much more complicated than what people might think. And also the book explains what ghosts are, like why some people can see ghosts, and also like why Christ resurrected after 3 days, not 4 days, not 2 days, but 3 days. Why is that? Why is it? Like there are so many interesting things that are explained in the book, like who built the Great Pyramid of Egypt and why and for what reason, and how people used it, and so it's
Do
an
you have a
interesting book.
copy of the book there you can hold up?
Uh, yes, I do. It's right here.
Here, hold that as close to your camera as you can for people to see. There you go. Move it over to your right just a little bit. You're there a little bit more. There you go. Perfect.
I'm
I
going to
want
write
pe-
that down.
I want people to get a good look at that,
I have
and
never heard of that book.
I will post a picture of it on my social
Yeah.
media sites after the show. But where can people get the book?
They can get it on Amazon. It's also read by a British narrator on Audible as an audiobook.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
So,
Cool.
if I know that you want to ask about UFOs, but he just said explains why some people can see ghosts. And since we are in that crowd, and I have seen spirit, I would like to ask what the reason is.
Well, let me first explain like what ghosts are. They are actually part of the astral body of the person who just passed. So what happens is that when a person passes, the astral body leaves the physical body, and then um, in 3 days' time, this is because of universal law. In 3 days' time, 81% of the astral body, which is composed of electrons, will go to the person's higher self. The other 19% will remain in nature as ghosts. Some people may be able to see them. And because of static energy of the electrons, the ghosts resemble the appearance of the person who just passed. And because electrons contain memories, ghosts frequently haunt places they loved or hated. And this is also the reason why Christ resurrected 3 days, because in 3 days' time, the astral body of the Christ that died on the cross uh, I mean, went to the higher self. And then Christ was able to reappear in astral form to make himself appear to the eyes of the other people as documented in the Bible. And this is also why in Tibetan culture, the corpse of the dead are not to be touched for at least 3 days because they believe that the cycle has not been completed yet. So ghosts are actually the confused spirits or part of the astral body of the person who just passed. And, uh, and there are people who have the ability to see ghosts because they are able to use their, for example, the pineal gland to sense the vibrational frequencies of the ghosts or the spirits. And this is the reason they're able to kind of use their third eye to see the spirits or ghosts.
Interesting.
Very, yeah, that is very interesting. Um, I remember seeing spirit when I was very young, and I knew that I didn't really know for a fact how spiritually connected to spirit my mother was. Um, but she used to tell me when it used to freak me out. She would tell me not to be afraid of ghosts, that they're just people that don't have a body any longer, and if they appear to you, if you're not so scared that you can't, but try and ask them what it is they want from you, that there's a reason why they're appearing to you, and you should ask them, uh, do you need my help? Do you need a message to pass a message on, or do you need my help? And if you're able to help them, great. If not, then be honest with them and tell them you can't help them. But if you're so freaked out that you don't want them appearing to you any longer, then you, again, be honest with them and ask them to please stop appearing to you. And they should. Of course, I saw things that were not just ghosts. And then my mother's advice to me and approach to that was completely different. But that's very interesting. And yeah, been seeing spirit for a long time. And just it just after a while it is what it is. My wife and I live in a haunted house, so uh, I just it just after a while you just kind of is this the way life is for you.
I
Yeah. So
I have
if
a
you
little theory about it. I think the more spirits you see, the more you're likely to keep seeing. Because
yeah.
I think that energetically, and we're talking about all of this is living on a more energetic level and realizing the energy behind healing. And I think that the spirits can tell that you're likely to see them, interact with them, pray for them, or whatever.
Yes, and if you know ghosts are composed of electrons, if you really don't want them to be around, if you can just use the fire to really dispel the ghosts, because if you use fire, the electrons are going to go away, and sooner or later the ghosts are going to realize or not as confused as before, so they're going to get on their ways to go on the next cycle or reincarnation. So normally, ghosts will disappear once the person reincarnates. So once the electrons are recycled by nature. So there's nothing to be afraid of ghosts once you know what they are.
We
Absolutely,
have
you
a
don't.
comment from Contessa Martin saying that she remembers a time when she would go to a viewing for 2.5 days. And that's very common. She said Catholic funeral home. But that's kind of very common across funeral homes that there is a viewing or a wake for 2, 3 days before a burial.
What's your thoughts, Samuel, on uh, burning the body? Some people like to be cremated. They leave that in their wishes.
Well, I think when a person passes, whether the body decomposes naturally or being burned, it really doesn't make a lot of difference. But when the astral body of a person leaves the physical body, that person will be able to see everything that happens around the body. So if the person knows a lot of the things that happen or the life cycle, then the person will just leave naturally without any kind of extra effort. But if the person doesn't know and feels that he or she is disrespected by the people around him on the body, then probably there are gonna be some grudges against the people.
Yeah. Do you believe I've got about 5 minutes before I have to kick you out of here. Before I forget, did you have fun? Would you like to come back?
Yes, I love to. Yes, there are a lot of things that we haven't touched on.
Yeah, I would love to have you back too because, like I said, I could make a whole series with you. So many things to talk to you about, and we didn't even scratch the surface. We just looked at it today. But let me ask you this: do you believe spirits can come back, can remain longer uh, than a small short period of time? Sometimes you see these hauntings that tend to go on and on and on. And do you believe these angry spirits can harm you?
Well, it takes two to get harmed. So the spirit, the angry spirit, has to have the intention to harm you, and then for you, you have to be able, you have to really receive uh, the harm caused by the angry spirit in order to be harmed. So if you don't know that the spirit is trying to harm you, then you are likely just not going to be harmed. But there are special exceptions in which certain energies are causing disharmony on your physical or astral body. That actually happens as well. Um, there are cases like that in which it requires a specific kind of process to get them away.
Yeah, because I mean, Annette gets her fair share of this too. I constantly get people reach out to me and for many years now, constantly reach out to me because they're in the presence of spirit and they're just freaked out. And sometimes they believe spirits are trying to harm them. And so sometimes it's just they're suffering some type of psychological issues, mental health issues, but many times their claims are true, and they believe that they're being these spirits are trying to harm them. So I think yeah, it just all comes down to love and hate. You don't want to be on your deathbed and have any hate
Mm.
or regrets for having been an evil, perverted person that has hurt a lot of people. I believe that that's not a good recipe. So, yeah. Is there any advice, any parting advice before? What do you think about before I kick you out of here, and then we will pick right up where we left off. Before I kick you out of here, are we finally this year? Do you believe gonna get full disclosure from the government on extraterrestrials, which I believe everybody already knows they've been here forever, and we know they're around, and they know they're among us. What do you think?
I definitely hope so that people will realize that we are not alone in the universe, and we are definitely not alone. And there are different kinds of ET species just in our Milky Way galaxy. And the government has been working with the Greys for a long time. But remember, the Greys are not that advanced because their spacecraft crashed on Earth. This is why we
Yeah,
have the retrievals trying to reverse engineer the crashed UFOs, the UAPs. There are also ETs whose spacecraft did not and will never crash on Earth. And we should learn from the best, learn from the masters, learn from the
absolutely.
ETs that are documented in the ancient scriptures. And I would suggest people to read the book and before they explore further.
When I have you back, we'll jump right into that because I've had some experiences. I'd love to get your feeling, your opinion on. I also had experiences when I was in the Navy, things we saw out at sea, and yeah, I'd like to get your opinions on that. So that'll be a very interesting show when we have you back. And then, is there anything you'd like to say to Samuel before I kick him out of here?
I just really enjoyed meeting you and listening to your answers, and I think that there's so much more to learn there, and I'm glad that you'll come back. And the comments have been so positive. Everyone has enjoyed you.
Thank you.
Samuel, God bless you, brother. I love you and respect you. You're a super cool dude. Say hi to your wife for me, and I will throw some dates at you and have you back as soon as I can. Okay, brother?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so
Samuel,
much.
take care.
Bye bye.
Samuel Chong, very interesting guy.
Super interesting. That book
Uh,
sounds interesting. I did write it down. I had not heard of that book. It
I'll
sounds
put
very interesting.
I'll put some pictures up of it on my social media sites afterwards.
Yeah.
Next Friday, finally, your friend will be here, January 23rd.
C.L.
CL Thomas will be here.
Thomas.
It's going to be a
And
great show. She's a photographer, a writer, paranormal enthusiast, has a
and
show here on this network,
and
the
you know
Gateway
why I
Podcast.
wanted her to come, because she talks about um haunted and paranormal events around Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
And I said, I know someone who would love to talk to you as soon as he's better.
All right, Annette, I love you and respect you too. Thank you so much for being here. Have a I pray for you all the time. I know you're going through some issues with your
I pray for
family.
you and
Pray for
Sharon
you all
every
the
night.
time. Thank you. And I know you and I will talk during the week, but I will see you next Friday, and we'll have fun with CL Thomas.
Sounds perfect. And thanks to all of our viewers and our chat room people. We love you so much and enjoy you being here. Everybody have a great night and a great weekend.
Good night, Annette. Annette Munich, Stellium Books. Thank you all for being here because I don't have a show without you all, and I mean that honestly. And what else do I want to say to you guys? Um, Thank you to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, for carrying my show. Joe Montaldo and Michelle DeRoche behind the scenes, making it happen for me. God bless them. Remember, brothers and sisters, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Stay tuned for Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.